Let me finish off how we calculate the cost price of a product. Please note that when you calculate the cost price of a product, you will be given the markup or you will have to use a word code. Now, question is, what is a word code? A word code is a 10-letter word where the letters are not repeated, and behind each letter there is a number. For instance, here my first word is black horse, where B is equal to 0. It means that if B is 0, L will be 1, A will be 2 until you get to 9. Now, the numbers must always be between 0 and 9. I repeat, the numbers must always be between 0 and 9. So you can't have 10, 11, 12 here. It must be between 0 and 9. Now, since I have been told that B is 0, now that means where there is B, I'll have 0, and where there is L, we'll have 1, 2, up until we get to 9. If we are given the cost price as KKB/EE, the first K, please note that K represents 4. So this is 4. 4. B is 0. And slash means it's a dot or comma. And EE will be 99. HOKL, H is 5, O is 6, K is 4, L is 1, and that'll be 0.00. You don't have to write that 0.00. So that is 5,641. Now, what if the first letter is 1, like in the classwork that I just gave you now, where B is 1? That means that you will count from 1 up to 9 and then start again from 0. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and E will be 0. Okay, so if I have SUC, S is 9, U is 8, and C is 4, E will be 0, 0. Now, OCEE will be O is 7, C is 4, EE will be 0, 0, comma SK will be 9, 5. That is 7,495 cents. We good? All right. Still on the word problem, you need to know that the difference between sales and cost of sales is the markup or the gross profit on the sale of goods. In order to calculate the correct profit made, it is essential that the expense be measured against the relevant income. That is, in order to calculate profit, income is measured against the relevant expenses incurred in producing that income. Now, the relationship between sales, cost of sales, and gross profit can be illustrated in the following formula, where cost of sales plus gross profit will be equal to sales, okay? Or you can say that gross profit is equals to sales minus cost of sales, all right? Now, we spoke about the fixed markup percentage method. Here, a fixed percentage is used to determine the selling price. Now, if I said to you the markup is 50%, that means that cost of sales will always be at 100, gross profit will be 50, and your selling price will be 150. Gross profit is a percentage profit the seller requires from selling trading stock. Here's one example here. If we are given the cost price of 100 Rand and the markup is 50% on cost. So you can simply say that cost of sales will be 100, gross profit will be 50, and the selling price will be 150. Now, to get your sales value, if you're given the cost price like you've been given here, please know that if you want the sales value, sales will be 150. You're going to take 100, multiply by 150. But because that 100 Rand is the cost price, you will just divide it by 100. That's how you will get your sales value. Therefore, your sales value will be 150. We have done this in the previous table. If this confuses you, please go back to the previous video to check how we calculated gross profit in the table. Okay, I'm just revising everything we have done thus far. Okay, what if we are given that the cost of sales of an item that was sold for 250? We need to determine the cost of sales of an item that was sold for 250. So that 250 is the selling price. The entity marks its product up at 25% on cost. Again, here, cost of sales will be 100, gross profit will be 25, 100 plus 25 will give you selling price, which is 125. So you will sell it at 125. That means that 250 you have been given there, it is at 125%. And we just want 100%, which is the cost price. So you remember, you multiply by what you want, you divide by what you have. So you will take that 250 times it by 100 and divide it by 125. And that will give you the cost of sales of 200. Right? Try this one out. Determine the sales of an item that was purchased for 1,500. That 1,500 is the cost price because we purchased this item for 1,500. We need to determine the price at which we will sell this item. Now you can do a bit of a table here, but they told you that the markup is 30% on cost. So cost of sales will be 100, gross profit will be 30%, and selling price will be 130. Now to determine the sales value, you will take 1,500. You want the 130, so you'll multiply by 130, but that 1,500 is the cost price. You will basically divide by 100. Multiply by what you want, divide by what you have. And the sales value here will be 1,950. Try this one out. Here we need to determine the cost of sales of an item that was sold for 1,950. The entity marks up its goods at 25% on cost. Again, you're going to do that small Anyana table where the cost of sales will be 100, gross profit will be 25%, and the selling price will be 125. Note that that 1,950 that you have been given here is the selling price, and we are looking for the cost price. Cost percentage is 100, so we know that we are going to multiply by 100. The sales percentage is 125, so we know that we will divide by 125. Take what you have, multiply it by the percentage of what you want, divide by the percentage of what you have. And sales, here we're calculating cost of sales as a matter of fact. So cost of sales amount here will be 1,516. Okay, cost of sales will be 1,516. All right. We spoke about the secret overhead code where I gave you that, and I specified what that is, and obviously that is the code we use to determine it. Okay, so we have the item which was sold for 62 rand 10 cents. Obviously, if we are given the cost price as CK/AH, C is 4, K is 5, dot, that will be comma 3 because A is 3 and H is 6. That will be 45 rand 36 cents. What will be the cost price here? The cost price will be S is 9, K is 5. That'll be point. We have K again. K will be 5 and E will be 0. So that will be 95 rand 50 cents. Okay, that is just the revision of the cost price, calculating the cost price as we have done. I'm just going to get to preparing the debtors journal and the debtors allowances journal. So this is the information that we've got here, where we are told that we are various stores and we sell goods for cash and on credit. On 1 April 2021, the balances of their two debtors are as follows. So Bisco Sana is owing us 500 Rand and Kylie is owing us 400 Rand. Now, what I'm going to do with those amounts, I will take them straight to the debtor's ledger of each debtor. I will start with Bisco Sana, and I will write that as the balance on the 1st of April, which will be, you can write it as account rendered. I prefer to write it as balance brought down. Bisco Sana at the beginning of the month was owing 500 Rand, and Kylie at the beginning of the month was owing 400 Rand. We are going to write that again as account rendered on the 1st of April. And the account which is balance brought down, it will be 400 Rand. Please note that we only have two debtors. Combined, these two debtors at the beginning of the month, they were owing us 500 plus 400, and that is 900. And that will be the balance we will start our debtors control with. So at the beginning of the month, the debtors control balance, which we are going to write as balance brought down, will be that 900 Rand. Please note that debtors control is an asset account. It represents what is being owed to us. Since it is an asset account, it is a plus minus account. It increases on the debit side whenever we sell more goods on credit. It increases on the debit side whenever we sell more goods on credit. It'll decrease on the credit side when the debtors return the goods we sold to them because they'll owe us less. That is common sense. They will owe us less because they have returned the goods, or if they have paid us back. Those are the circumstances that will result in your debtors control account decreasing. Obviously, as you go to grade 10 and higher grades, there are more accounts or situations that will result in the increase or decrease of your debtors control. Now, on the 1st of April 2021, I will start the debtors control account with an opening balance of 900. So you will write that as balance brought down and the amount will be 900 Rand. Now, before I can even continue, I just want to give you balances that will be in other accounts. Okay, so the opening balance for trading stock will be 20,000. Okay, I included this in the handout, which is in the Google Classroom, please check the description, under description, for you to download the entire handout. Actually, it's advisable that you download the entire handout and you complete it as you watch this video, okay? And for sales, the opening balance, please know that sales is income, income is minus plus. So sales increases on the credit side. And because it's a nominal account section, I will write it as the opening balance here, I will write it as balance brought forward, which will be 18,500. These are the balances that are given in the handout. And please don't ask me where they come from. They were given to you, okay? They were given to you, so you didn't need to complete them. And for debtors allowances, your balance brought down at the beginning of the month, which is balance brought forward, will be 1,200. Please note that debtors allowances is just a nominal account section. It is, in essence, an expense account of which we need to offset against the sales at the end of the year. You will learn that later on when you get to grade 10. And cost of sales, it's also an expense account, and it will have a balance brought forward at the beginning of the month, which will be 11,400. Okay, these are just the balances that we're giving to you, and that's what I started with. Okay, moving right along. Let me just get to the first adjustment or the first transaction. The first transaction says that on the 1st of April, we sold merchandise on credit to Kay or to Kylie for 828. We sold them for that much. That means 828 is the selling price. 828 is the selling price. So we need to determine the cost price of those goods. Luckily, we are given the markup percentage, which is 20% on cost. And they also gave us the invoice number, which will be BQ12. Because we sold these goods on credit, I highlighted on credit, I also highlighted 20% markup. Because we sold these goods on credit, they will be recorded in the debtors journal. Just to recap, when we sell goods for cash, they will be recorded in the CRJ. When we buy goods for cash, we'll record that in the CPJ. When we buy goods for cash, but we bought them for a value that is small, we will record that in the petty cash journal. When we sell goods on credit, we will record it in the debtors journal. When we sell goods on credit, we will record it in the debtors journal. When the debtor returns goods, it will be recorded in the debtors allowances journal. So far, we have done only 5 journals. We good? Great. Now, I know that transaction on the 5th will be recorded in the debtors journal. That's why I wrote DJ next to it. Let's go to the debtors journal and record that value. In the debtors journal, we will start with the document number, the invoice number. That will be BQ12. The day was the 5th, and the debtor to whom we sold these goods to on credit is Kylie. And the selling price of these goods was 828. We are missing cost of sales. And for you to calculate cost of sales, you need to remember this formula here. You will take your given amount, which is sales, you multiply it by the percentage that you want, and you divide by the percentage that you have. Now, you were told that these goods were marked up at 20%, meaning that the cost price that we're looking for here will be 100 and gross profit will be 20. and the selling price will be 120. So you will take that 828, multiply by what you want, which is the 100, divide by what you have, which is the 120. That is because that 828 is the selling price. So the selling price will be at 120. So you will take 828 multiplied by 100 divided by 120, and that will give you 690. I'm not done yet. This 128, I will still need to take it to the debtors ledger, Kylie's debtors ledger. And in that debtors ledger, Kylie will be owing us more because Kylie just bought goods on credit. So let's take it to the debtors ledger of Kylie. And in the debtors ledger of Kylie, we already recorded the 400, okay? So we will increase it. So we'll start with the day, which is the 5th. You write the invoice number under details, which will be invoice BQ12. And the folio, you will write DJ, which is the journal where this transaction was recorded. Remember, the debtors ledger increases on the debit side whenever the customer buys more. Here, the customer Kylie bought more, and it'll increase at selling price, which will be 828. To get the balance on the 5th, you will take 400, add it with 828. That will give you 1,228. Got it? Then you're done. Kylie. Now let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next transaction. What does the next transaction say? It says that Kylie complained about the quality of some of the goods supplied to him on the 5th, which is about the transaction. Now, a CN, that is a credit note. A credit note, it is a source document that we issue to a debtor when the debtor returns goods. So the document number was the credit note C12, and it was for 72 rand. So 72 rand is the selling price of these goods, right? And obviously, the invoice, well, the credit note C12 was issued to him for the goods returned. Goods returned by the debtor. Kylie is a debtor. Goods returned by the debtor will be recorded in the debtor's allowances journal. It'll be recorded in the debtor's allowances journal. Now, you need to be careful when you record the transaction in the debtor's allowances journal. If it is just the return of goods, you will need to record it with the cost of sales amount. However, if it is an allowance, you cannot record it with the cost of sales amount. Allowances are omitted discounts, reduction of the purchase price, or basically, I forgot the other one. Reduction of the purchase price, it is the discount that was omitted, or where you tell the debtor to keep the goods if the goods are damaged, and then you just reduce what they owe you. So that is an allowance, and that allowance will not have cost of sales. Now for this one here, that's 72 rand. It represents the return of goods. And because it represents the return of goods, we are going to record it in the debtor's allowances journal. Now, we'll start with the invoice number, which will be C12, and the day will be the 7th. The name of the debtor is Kylie. And under debtors allowances, you put in the selling price of these goods that were returned, which will be 72 rand. We are missing the cost price. How do we calculate the cost price here? How do we know what the markup is? They told you when these goods were purchased. They were purchased on the 5th. And the fact that they were purchased on the 5th, it means that the same markup percentage applies. And what is that markup percentage? I'll go back to it. It was 20%. So that 20% markup percentage still applies. Now we've got the 72 rand. all you are going to do is to take that 72 rand, and because we are looking for cost of sales, so we know that that 72 rand, it is at 120, and the cost of sales will be at 100. Okay, so what are you going to do? You will take the 72 rand and multiply it by what you want. We want the 100, which is the cost of sales. So you will multiply that by 100 and you will divide it by 120 because that is the selling price. The fact that it is the selling price, it means that it is already at 120%, and that will give you 16. Okay, let me confirm it. So it is 72. You multiply that by 100, and then you divide that by 120, and there you go. It gives you 60. So that's how we got that 60 rands, which is the cost price. Okay, moving right along. Let's get to the 12. Now, on the 12, we send an invoice. We are the ones sending an invoice. When we send an invoice, we send an invoice when someone buys from us. We send invoice BQ13 to Biskosana for goods which he bought on credit from various stores. So the selling price of those goods is 1,755. Goods are marked up at 30% on cost. Okay. So because we sold these goods on credit, where do we record them? We record them in the debtors journal. We record them in the debtors journal. All goods sold on credit will be recorded in the debtors journal. When we record them in the debtors journal, document number will be BQ13. Day will be the 15th. The debtor is Biskosana. The selling price is 1,755. Now, for this specific transaction, sales will be at 130. Cost of sales will be at 100. To get the cost price, you will take that 1,755 multiplied by 100, which is what you want, and divided by 130 because that 130 is that 1,755. And that will give you the cost price, which will be 1,350. I'm not done though with this 1,755. I am going to record it in Biskosana's debtors ledger account. And because Biskosana is buying here, I will record it on the debit side. So I will write there 12 details will be invoice BQ13, and the folio you'll have DJ. On the debit side, you'll have 1,755. The balance will be that 500. You are going to add it with this 1,755. It'll give you a new balance here, which will be 2,255. Now that I'm doing this, I just realized that we actually forgot to record the return of goods by Kylie. The return of goods by Kylie, this one here on the 7th, okay? We didn't post it to Kylie's account. When Kylie returned these goods, we need to reduce her account or his account, as a matter of fact, by that 72 rand. Now I'm going to go to Kylie's debtors ledger account and reduce it by that 72 rand. I'll have the 7th. Under details, you write the source document, which is credit note C12. And folio will be debtors allowances journal on the credit side. Why the credit side? It's because Kylie is now owing us less, okay? We are subtracting what Kylie is owing us because Kylie returned the goods. Remember, when Kylie owes us, it will be on the debit. When Kylie owes us less, it will be on the credit. So to get the new balance, I'm going to take this 1,228 and subtract the 72 rand. It'll give me a balance of 1,156. Got it? We good? All right. It's time for you to shine. Okay. This thing is easy. Ibunolo, ibunolo, bunolo, bunolo, bunolo. Ilula. All right. I did it up to number 12. Now I'm going to do the 15th. Now on the 15th, it says that Beast Kosana complained that he was overcharged. Oops. Now, overcharged. That will be recorded in the debtors allowances journal. It is an allowance, but remember when it comes to the overcharge, it will not have cost of sales. It will not have cost of sales because students take chances, even when it's just a return of goods. They will not write anything under cost of sales. And then when I give them their scripts back, they will put the value there. So you can't just leave it blank. So even though it doesn't have cost of sales, you still have to either write 0 or a dash under cost of sales. So for this one, I'm going to have C13. The day will be the 15th. It was B's Kosana. Under debtors allowances, I'll have 80, and under cost of sales, I've got nothing. So you put nothing, which is 0. Nothing is 0 or dash. Okay, it is an overcharge. That's why there's no cost of sales for that. We good? All right, let's move to the next one. On the 24th, it says that we supplied merchandise to Beast Kosana for 2,700. So we sold goods to Beast Kosana for 2,700, and the cost price of those goods was that. Oops. And then they say to a cash slip for 1/3 of the amount was issued. A cash slip means that that part will be recorded in the CRJ. We are receiving money because we sold those goods for cash. And a credit note BQ14 for the remainder was issued. The remainder, okay, credit note BQ14 for the remainder was issued, and they gave you a word code, which is white sugar. So that transaction will be recorded in the debtors journal as well as the debtors, as well as the CRJ. But now I'm just going to quickly find the cost price using that. The cost price will be 2,100. That means 2/3 of that will go to the debtors journal and 1/3 will go to the CRJ. Similarly, 2/3 of 2,700 will go to the debtors journal and 1/3 of 2,700 will go to the CRJ. 1/3 is 1/3. So you take the value, you multiply it by 1/3, it'll go to the CRJ. I'm going to start with what goes to the debtors journal. And for the debtors journal, we'll have BQ 14, the day will be the 24th. Under data, I will have Beast Kosana. Under sales, I'll have 1,800. How did I get that 1,800? It was 2,700. Multiply that by 1/3. And voila, it'll give you that 1,800. The cost price we said is 2,100. When you take that 2,100 and you multiply it by 2 over 3, actually, I'm lying. That 800 is 2 over 3 because only 2/3 are coming to the debtors journal case. So 2/3. So it's 2,700 times 2 over 3. That will give you 1,800. And then take 1,200, which is the cost price, times it by 2 over 3. It'll give you the cost of sales amount of 1,400. I'm not done though with it. 1,800. I will still need to record it under the debtors ledger of B's Kosana and we'll write it on the debit side because that 1,800 represents what B's Kosana bought on credit. Let's go to B's Kosana's debtors ledger and just write that on the debit side. I will also record what I missed here on the 15th, okay, which is that 80 rand. We're supposed to reduce B's Kosana's account by that 80 rand. Let us record it quickly. So when we record it, you will have the 15th. Under details, remember guys, in the debtors ledger, under details, you write the source document. The source document is credit note C13. I don't like writing C and I actually prefer to write it in full. Credit note C13. It comes from the DAJ. So remember, when it comes to the debtors ledger, debit is a plus and credit is a minus. Okay, and I will put this under minus. Therefore, when you take that 2,255, you minus the 80, you will get 2,175. We good? And as I said, we're gonna record that 1,800 now, still under B's Kosana, but now we are going to record it on the debit side. We'll have 24th, and the details you will write invoice, which was BQ14. Folio will be DJ, which is the journal. This time you're going to put it under plus because Biscosana bought these goods on credit. And the debit will have 1,800. Now the balance that Biscosana is owing us will go up from 2,175 by 1,800 to 3,975. On the 28th, we issued invoice BQ15 to K or Kylie together with merchandise. It was 1,160 and they gave you the cost code and the word code, which is Black Horse. Now I'm going to try and do it here quickly. So B will be 0. So if that is 0, that will be 1, 2, 3. We're gonna have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and E will be 9. So our code H is 5, so it is 5. Okay, no, I'm wrong here. L is 1, sorry for that. B is 0, 0, 0, and so basically it is 1,000. Because we issued an invoice, it means we sold goods on credit. And the fact that we sold goods on credit, that transaction will be recorded in the debtors journal where we have under sales, we'll have that 1,160 and under cost of sales, we'll just have 1,000. You can just add them up. Kylie here is debtor number 2. Let me just confirm that. Kylie is debtor number 2 in the debtors ledger, and B's Kosana will be debtor number 1. We good, Mia? We good, Marisol? Are we good, Lindo? Easy, right? Yeah, I know. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to record that under Kylie's debtors ledger account. And when I record it there, I'll have 28th. Then we're going to have invoice BQ15, DJ under folio on the debit side. It's 1,116 and the balance will be 2,316. Okay, let's go to the 29th. On the 29th, we've got Kylie sent back the goods which she had not ordered, but they said nothing about claiming for an allowance. So they gave you the cost code. The L is 1, S is 8, and B will be 0. So the cost price there will be 180. And when you write it down, so that it will be recorded in the debtors allowances journal. As I've said, when you write it down, it will be 180. And let us record that in the debtors allowances journal. So we're going to have C14. The day will be the 29th. It's Kylie under debtors allowances will have 240, under cost of sales will have 180. And obviously this is based on this word code over here. So that's how you will get that 180, okay? And then you just total them up. One thing that I did not record is the 1/3 of the transaction that we had. Was it on the, what day was that transaction? Was it on the 24th? Yes, it was on the 24th. So that 1/3 of 2,700, we are going to record that under bank and sales. And 1/3 of 2,100 will be cost of sales, and that will be 700. Okay, what do we do with these totals? Okay, guys, I already told you what to do with those totals. If you checked out the previous video, I specified what you need to do with those totals, all right? And basically the total under sales in your debtors allowances journal, I ask you to write what you will do with it. So that 5,080, this is in the previous video, by the way, you are going to record it on the debit side of debtors control and the credit side of sales. That 3,810, you will record it on the debit side of cost of sales and the credit side of trading stock, okay? I also told you what to do with the totals in the debtors allowances journal. The 480 you'll record it on the debit side of debtors allowances. The 240 will record it. You'll also record it on the credit side of debtors control. The 240 you'll record it on the debit side of trading stock and then record it on the credit side of cost of sales. Okay, I mentioned all of this. So basically, I won't just repeat this. You're supposed to know what to do so far. Okay. And guys, when you do this so many times, and try to apply common sense as well. Okay, so what are we going to do with the totals we got here? I am going to start with my debtors journal. So that total here, which is 5,543, what am I going to do with it? So this amount here, what am I going to do with this? I already told you what you need to do with it. You're going to record it on the debit side of debtors control. I'll write that DC, and then you're going to record it on the credit side of sales, because that is income. Debit side of debtors control and credit side of sales. Debtors control means these debtors are owing you more. Sales means you are earning income. So we'll record it on the debit side of debtors control as sales. DJ, the amount will be 5,543. And then we are going to record it on the credit side of sales. That is because we have earned income by selling those goods and we sold them on credit. So you will have debtors control on the credit side of sales, and then have that 5,000, it'll be 5,543. Done with it. Done. Now you're going to go to cost of sales. What do we do with cost of sales here? What do we do with this 4,440? You will record it on the debit side of cost of sales and then record it on the credit side of trading stock. So that's all I'm going to do. Cost of sales increases whenever you sell. That's why we're recording it on the debit side. Cost of sales is an expense. It increases on the debit side whenever we sell. That is why here I'm going to record this on the debit side as trading stock of cost of sales from the DJ. It means I sold goods for cash. It will be 4,440. And again, I'm going to record it on the credit side of trading stock. That is because we're losing stock. Okay, it's sold, it's gone, we're losing it. We're going to record it as cost of sales. DJ, we sold it on credit, and the amount will be 4,440. Guys, when I'm teaching, you need to pay attention all the time from the beginning because I'm just building on that. Okay, I'm just building on that. All right, let's move on. I'm done with the debtors journal. Now I'm going to go to the debtors allowances journal. What am I going to do with this 392? I'm going to record it on the debit side of debtors allowances. And then because it's an expense, okay, when they return goods, our debtors allowances expense will increase, but it'll also decrease our debtors control, which is DJ, because they're owing us less. So that 392, I'm going to record it on the debit side of debtors allowances, and I might as well write total returns there, DAJ, and just balance it off. And I will also record it. Please note that we will balance it off every month. But at the end of the year, we're going to close it off against sales. You will learn about that when you get to grade 10. Okay. And then we're going to go to our debtors control and just record it on the credit side of our debtors control, which is 392. Done. We good? Sure, grade 9s and grade 10s. Okay. I'm done with that debtors allowances. Now I'm gonna go to this 240. Okay, what do I do with this 240 on the cost of sales? I'm going to debit trading stock. We see, guys, it becomes so easy when you're used to it. Debit to trading stock because we're getting the stock back, and trading stock is always recorded at cost price, which is something that I emphasized when we started. And we're gonna record it on the credit side of cost of sales because the customer is returning goods. I said to you, cost of sales will increase whenever we sell. So when the customer returns goods, it means we're selling less of that. So we are going to record that as such. We are going to record it on the credit side, on the debit side of trading stock, and record it on the credit side of cost of sales. See, easy. Cost of sales is trading stock DAJ, and the amount is 214. See, we're doing it now in grade 9. And then when you get to grade 10, even this year where I give you the journals and the totals, you need to know what to do with those totals. Sure, Lindo. Let's go. All right. I'm gonna go to my CRJ now. Let me go to my CRJ. This is my CRJ here. So what am I gonna do with this 900? Normally you will record it on the debit side of bank. Okay, you will record it on the debit side of bank. But I did not give you the bank account. And then you're gonna record it on the credit side of sales. Okay, you're gonna record it on the credit side of sales. I specified this earlier on. That is because you're earning income. You got cash, earning income. So I will just credit my sales by that value, which is the selling price. Whatever goes to sales will be at selling price. Whatever goes to debtors control will be at selling price. Because guys, think about it. Your customers can't owe the cost price of the item. They will owe you the selling price, okay, which will be 900, and you can just balance this off. You will balance it off every month, but at the end of the year, you will close it off against what we call trading account. You will learn about this when you get to grade 10 as well as grade 11. Lula land. Easy. Okay. Ungabhayisi. Okay, the last one will be cost of sales. So here we sold for cash, but nothing changes. We are still going to debit cost of sales and then credit trading stock because we are losing trading stock. We are going to credit trading stock, TS, trading stock. Okay, so on the debit side of cost of sales, on the credit side of trading stock, I will record cost of sales, CRJ, the amount will be 700. And then I'm going to look at the bigger side. And I realize that the debit side is bigger than the credit side. So whatever I'm going to do now is to get the balancing figure. How do I get the balancing figure here? I will simply do the following. Take the bigger side, add it up. So that will be 20,000 plus 240. This is the bigger side. And on the credit side, the smaller side, I only have these two. So I'm just going to subtract these two here. And whatever I get will be the balancing figure, which we call our balance carry down. Okay. And let me see. So you're going to have 20,240 minus 4,440 minus 700 and an equal sign. You'll get 15,100, which will be the balancing figure. And then you just write it as balance brought down the following month. And that's it. Oh, remember I said we'll also go to cost of sales. So it'll go to the debit side of cost of sales. And you'll write it as trading stock, CRJ, and just balance it off. I did show you how to balance it off. All right. Did we do trading stock? Yes, we did. Did we do debtors control? No, we didn't balance it off. Just balance it off quickly. And what about sales? Yes, we did. And what about debtors allowances? Yes, we did. Cost of sales? Yes, we did. Okay. Try out Classwork 6. Try out Classwork 6. Okay, this is the info about Classwork 6. You'll prepare the debtors journal, debtors allowances journal, L. Lamar's debtors ledger, A. Elaine's debtors ledger, A. Ree's debtors ledger, and then you prepare the debtors list. Trading stock has this balance. Debtors control, well, you have to determine that. Well, it was given to you, I think. I think it was given to you, but I won't put it in there. Just need to write it there. And you'll have sales balance. Debtors allowances. It's a reduction of sales, which is an expense, obviously. Sales is income, so the reduction of sales will be an expense. It increases on the debit side at selling price whenever goods are returned. So this is a plus minus account, okay? Just remember that it's a plus minus account, all right? And we're gonna have cost of sales. Balance for cost of sales will be 14,200. Happy now, Marisol? I want this tomorrow. And everybody else, okay? Thank you again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe. Let everybody know about this channel, okay? This was for both grade 9 and grade 10. Check out the description for the Google Classroom code, join there and download the handout. Okay, it's for free. Obviously, if you want notes from grade 10 to grade 12, some of them I'm selling them. So just send me an email and you can complete the notes as you watch my videos. I really appreciate your support. Kileboa Homenahani. Pretoria still leading Cape Town, then Joburg, Soweto. Actually, it's Pretoria, Cape Town, Durban, and then Soweto, Joburg. I really appreciate it. Okay, I see Benoni is coming through as well. Thank you. It's 180, I think, but your Cape Town, it's on the 1,000, close to 10,000, I think. Thank you so much, Cape Town. Thank you, Pretoria. Actually, Pretoria is close to 10,000. Cape Town is number 2 to Pretoria. Number 1 is Pretoria, Tshwane, Mamelodi, Hammonds. Well, hope I'm not butchering them, okay? I really appreciate it, guys, for your support. Kileboha Homenahani. Check you guys out in the next video. Khotso. That means may peace be with you.